All right, welcome back to the show, Jarrid Williams. What's going on, Jarrid?
Nothing much.
Well, first off, congratulations on getting the invitation to the NFLPA Collegiate Bowl, January 29th at the Rose Bowl. And I know when you go through this process, the NFL draft process, you just want to keep getting things, essentially invitations and things like that. Just what was your reaction? Kind of where were you at when you got that invitation to another All-Star game there?
So it was probably that Thursday. Basically, my agent had reached out to me, told me he had some good news. So I called him because I called him got a chance. I called him immediately because I was just at the hotel. I was eating. Basically, he had told me that he got an NFL PA invite. And he was telling me as far as like how I need to accept it and stuff like that. So um, I guess, well, it was from, practicing at the Hula Bowl and practicing pretty well. Definitely helped out a lot from getting that.
Yeah, so let's talk about the Hula Bowl. What was your experience like with that? And you touched on practices. Just, I guess, what were your kind of takeaways with the event? Just what you kind of just overall, would you think of it there?
It was a great experience. Definitely getting to see a lot of people, all having the same goal as far as reaching to the NFL. And, it was a different type of competition, especially like, during one-on-ones, everybody's trying to get their best to impress the scouts. So it was definitely a great experience for me.
What do you think your maybe biggest takeaway, from it? Just maybe the biggest thing you learned as you went through it there.
Um, I would say probably, ooh, um, as far as I know that, scouts are watching and you have to be very critical as far as yourself, as far as that practice and how you practice. You have to make sure that you practice hard every play because, I mean, everybody's watching you. So it's just like, don't feel like you have to don't live in fear of making a mistake, but definitely have to practice hard every day.
You said you felt like practices went well for you, and I was able to reach out to a reporter that was there. Kind of the comments he said you're very explosive off the snap. Your punches were good. Responded well to coaching. How did you think it went? How would you evaluate your performance those practices there?
I feel like one-on-ones went great for me. I just have to make sure I stay consistent. That's the main key of the whole thing. And as far as inside, I just have to make sure, my run blocking is still improving. But definitely um, one-on-one pass rush was definitely a key as far as like me being seen out there.
How do you? I know you touched on it with just with reps and everybody's watching. You're a guy that's been around college football, obviously two different teams, a veteran guy, but this is a new experience for you, and I know you've probably talked to people that have been through it. But how do you kind of go through this? Is there anything that you can take from other experiences, either at Houston or at Miami, that can kind of help you with this, or is it just one of these just kind of a new deal experiences now this week, and obviously you're hoping it'll better prepare you for the next one you have?
Um, as far as the week, yeah, it was. I feel like it was like, I know how, like I said, it was a lot of eyes watching, but you can't really be nervous. They want to see how you like play in your element. So, I am glad that I had this as far as the experience for next week because I know exactly what to expect versus like, some people didn't go to the Hula Bowl or doesn't really know exactly what they're going to get into next week as far as meeting with scouts and testing and all of that. So it'll be a new experience for them. But, hopefully with me going to that and knowing exactly what's coming down the pipe, I'll be ready for it.
Uh, NFL team, you said scouts, NFL teams. Did you get a chance to speak with them already? How did that go, if you did there?
It went great. I talked to, um, I would say, kind of majority of them. It was a great experience. Some of the questions that they asked, um, I was prepared for it. But yeah, it was different.
Was there something that they consistently asked you? Teams wanted to know about you. Was there something in particular that they asked that you're starting to feel like you're trying to clear up, or anything at all?
They kind of ask like your strengths and weaknesses about what you bring on and off, well, on the field, and kind of ask about your family back home and who your support system is. They ask, but for sure they want to know like what you think your strengths and weaknesses are on the field.
Yeah. With that, I am curious, and maybe I asked you this last time, but where do you think you improved the most at Miami? Your 2 years at UM, now where you're at as a player than when you first arrived. Where do you think you improved the most with your game?
Um, I felt like pass pro definitely was a factor, but me coming back, I told myself that I was going to emphasize on run blocking. Um, and from last year to this year, I can't say that it was an improvement personally.
Yeah. So you checked in at the Hula Bowl. It says right at 6'6", right at close to 315. Is that about what you're expecting? Your other measurement stuff, was everything, just what your thoughts on how you kind of measured in at?
Yeah, that's what I wanted to be around was 315. And that's what I've been training at is around that, like 314, 315. I thought I was going to get the 3/4 for the 6'6", but it's fine. But I figured it was going to be around there.
Yeah.
So
What has training been like for you? Where were you training at? What is this process like? How soon after season ended? I know that it was different with the bowl game with UM there, but just how soon did you get into it? Essentially, really get into some draft prep here for you.
this is going on my third week because last week, I was at the Hula Bowl, and then the week before that, I had just got down here. Because it was like, essentially after our ball game got canceled, it was more like, okay, well, it's here. I have to figure out exactly who I'm going to sign with. And I knew exactly kind of where I wanted to be. And I'm at Exos in Pensacola. The experience has been great. Having the coach as far as like helping me out in mechanics, it was different as far as the first day when we test 40 times, L drill, 5, 10, 5s and all that. But and also the nutrition plan we're on, I can definitely say that I will be a clean cut 315. That's for certain.
Is there something in particular, the program that you're on now that you're doing that may be a little different?
As far as
just in general, from when you were in college at UM, was there something in particular they have you on? You said the 315. Just is there something that you're really that's changed a little, or even maybe a little bit more emphasized right now for you?
it's more of like I was saying, as far as weight, the food that they serve, it's always like lean food. It's like no type of no fast food. They give you enough food to where it'll last me, and I just down the healthy track.
Are there people or who's kind of helping you out the most in this process, either training or how to deal with the draft or these all-star games? Who are some people that are really helping you and kind of their expertise in this?
Well, definitely my agent. He's been doing it for over 20 years, and definitely the training staff here as far as because I was nervous, of leaving last week because it was just week 2 into our preparation for, combine, pro day. And, he told me we've had guys that have missed 2 weeks before, be perfectly fine because of how they came in. We know exactly, we can get your mechanics down in a few weeks because it's just the beginning of preparation. So that made me feel a little bit more comfortable as far as leaving for the bowl.
What is the biggest thing? Just that you're working on that you want to make sure you're showing, with your physical stuff right now as you're training. And like I said, the All-Star games, you're obviously gonna have to be ready for that. But just what will be kind of points of emphasis for you, or to make sure that you address what NFL teams are looking for leading up to the draft?
I want to show exactly like my quickness, changing direction, and also when I have to get down at the bench to 25, want to make sure my numbers are up there for me, and especially like my 40-yard dash, my 10-yard split. I want to make sure that is top tier.
Do you have goals with all those numbers? And you mentioned the bench press, and that's obviously that's like a little bit different. You're a taller guy, longer arms. It's I've seen other tackles go through this, so bigger guys. But is there a goal in mind that you like to get to, or even with your splits there?
As far as my 40 time, I want to try to get to at least a 4.9. That's definitely the goal, is a 4.9. I want to get under 5. Um, bench, I definitely want to try to get over 30. That's the goal. But yeah, especially for my 40, I want to hit that 4.9. I feel like I can. So that's definitely where I want to be at.
Where are you at now, or how much, where are you kind of usually at? How where have you've been at?
So I've ran, um, man, for 40 times, it was like a 5.1 last time when I ran around there. So I know I can get a 4.9 with the technique from here. And I just got to push myself every day. I know I'll be fine.
That's ridiculously moving, by the way, for a guy your size to be able to do that. So that obviously would be a big mark. Is everybody, obviously you played left and right tackle throughout your careers, but is everybody seeing you? I know it's early still, but still tackle for you? Is anyone trying? Has anybody talked about guard? Did you take any guard reps at all?
No, no. So I was going to at one point whenever we had one-on-ones, but we ran out of time. I know I plan on playing left and right to showcase in the NFLPA Bowl, to show that I can play both. But definitely, that's the main key that I have to do when I get there.
Gosh, you know anyone else that's going there that you'll kind of link up with?
Well, I know John Ford will be there. I know Dre will be there. I know. Um, I know, like I've heard of like Josh Seals. He's a tackle from Oklahoma State. Yeah, I know those few guys that are going there.
So one thing I didn't get a chance to talk to you about last time when you joined the show is just Miami's offensive line, their current situation. There's a lot of guys coming back. I wanted to get your thoughts on kind of Miami's future at offensive line. Obviously, a new position coach, but I want to start with Zion Nelson. What you kind of saw with him and maybe the 2 years, either his development, what you kind of saw as he improved, and maybe kind of what's next for him, what you think he can do moving forward.
Zion. So last year, he didn't start off the season. He started, I think it was FSU game, and it was like after that, he was on fire. So Zion's game has, from what I've seen that it's improved a lot. Because I remember, last year they're talking about, redshirting him, and more like, just trying to get like his weight up. But Zion, when Zion played very well, and I feel like the direction that he's going, like sky's the limit for him.
Jalen Rivers, a guy that, Coach Justice mentioned him quite a bit when he was playing there at the beginning of the season. I'm curious your take on him. You've obviously played with a lot of linemen over your career. A young guy like Jalen, what do you see? What can he kind of be for his future there once he gets healthy completely?
Yeah, I was gonna say, for a young guy, he's developed very fast, because at the point where he was playing Alabama, he was probably our most consistent offensive lineman at the time. And, of course, he had injury, but him coming back next year, I feel like he will probably have like his best year for sure. Having like a whole year span of football, so I feel like he'll do great.
What was it like kind of playing next to DJ all year, just having him beside you there?
Year one, it was more of like kind of getting a feel of each other as far as like how we play next to each other. And then when it was like game 4, when we were playing next to each other again, it was easy, and it was a lot more efficient this year than it was last year as far as how we worked together and how we held up. So I'm ready to see what Scape's going to do. I know because he had second team all conference this year. So that definitely shows how he can play. But, this year I'm expecting him to get first team.
So Ja'Kai, kind of interesting season, not playing to playing, and obviously stepping into that lead role. What would you kind of see with him as the season went on, as he's, like I said, his role was changing. He was in there obviously all the time there. What would you see from him as the year kind of progressed?
Kind of like us from last year. I knew he was a good guard, but coming out, I didn't know he was playing center. And with him showcasing him playing center as far as this past year, he's great. He's phenomenal at it. and I know he'll get the offensive line together and he'll get them going for sure.
Um, I do want to get your take on Tyler Van Dyke. That had to have been fun because it seems like all you guys, obviously saw stuff in the off season, maybe obviously he was behind Jarrid there and kind of his role, but he didn't really know exactly how it was going to go. Even coaches have mentioned that when he steps in there, and then obviously the year he had, the finish he had. How did you kind of take that and maybe enjoy it and kind of just watching him kind of do his thing?
It was crazy because last year he kind of like missed a few games, and I knew he was there, but we really didn't talk as much as this year. And towards the middle of the season, he started getting more comfortable with everybody, and it's just like once he's comfortable, it's just like he's impossible to stop. So definitely.
Yeah. So new coaching staff, a lot of guys coming back. What do you think is kind of the goal for these guys? What or advice you would give them? You've been through different head coaches in your career, played for different guys and position coaches and stuff. What do you think? What advice would you give essentially to the team for them to get to where they want to be kind of next year and kind of moving forward as they make adjustments with the new staff? What's your advice for this team here?
Um, I would just say as far as for the team, I would tell them, everybody has the same goal in mind, and the coaches want to help and they're there to help. I would say like don't feel like it's a new coach, like any type of remorse towards them. They're there to help, and y'all all want to win. So it's just like they're there for an advantage for you as far as for the season. And I would just say use them as a resource, and because they know exactly what their potential is. So it's just like make sure you can use advantage of that.
Oh, one thing I want to go back to NFL drafts. Are you watching more NFL games than you did in the past? Are you playoffs? I know you got a busy schedule, but are you kind of tuned in a little bit more now?
Yeah, a little bit more. More like it's crazy because I'm trying to know more of my former teammates or teammates that are in the NFL now, and it's just like some of them are in playoffs. And typically, I watch the playoffs more than like the regular season too. So.
Well, good, man. I'm happy for you. Your time is valuable. I appreciate taking the time to do this. I know you've been busy. We've been trying to link up here with your schedules and stuff, so I appreciate you taking the time. Obviously, best of luck. We'll all be paying attention to you and just kind of keep doing your thing. You're obviously on the right track. So I appreciate you, Jarrid.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.